Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bob Waldron and welcome to this inbox review. We're going to be taking a look at the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1. This is by Tamiya and it's 1/48 scale. Now this kit comes in at around about the £36 markish RRP, and it was, I think it was new tooled in 2018 or 2019. Not sort of a an old-ish mold, kind of quite new. Box art looks rather cool. Few things around the side. I mean, it does show you a little bit of one built. You do get free markings in this, so let's take a little look inside. Let's jump straight in with sort of like the main sort of surface detail. Right, now the one thing you will notice kind of straight away with our fuselage section here is you've got this big cutaway where our cockpit will be, and that is what these bits are for here. It wants you to glue these onto here depending on what configuration you want. Kind of interesting. I think I'm just kind of maybe over engineering it a little bit. And what we have on the surface detail, you know, we've got some nice consistent smooth surface detail. We can see recessed rivets, recessed panel lines, and it's actually rather sharp and actually rather fine and in scale, right? I mean, trying to get your nail in there, I mean, it's not overscaled. It's actually probably the most in scale recessed panel lines I've seen on a Spitfire, right? So they've really got it nice and fine, so that's a really nice positive on that one. We've also, if we just flip this over, we have as you can see, this is where the cockpit will be, so we have a bit of detail going on here. A little bit of a shame being quite a new-ish mold, where I am still seeing like the odd little tiny ejector pin mark inside here, which is a bit of a shame to see from a new kit and from Tamiya as well. The landing gear is on here as well, which is actually, the front one is all one piece, which is again another interesting. Again, I think I'm really trying to kind of re-engineer sort of like how to build a Spitfire, and having this all as one piece does kind of mean that, do you know how when you sort of put your landing gear on and they're separate and you've got to try and sort of line them up and get the right angle and stuff, having it one piece, they're all going to be equal and parallel, which is rather nice to see. Looking at the wings section on this sprue just here, again you can see the surface detail, absolutely nice, just like the fuselage section, nice and consistent. Same with the underside as well. As you can see, looks really nice. What else we've got on here? We've got our instrument display panel, right, which admittedly, I mean, I have seen better, it's not bad. There are decals for the dials, so that should kind of liven that up. Maybe a bit of aftermarket part, maybe from Edard to have some instrument display panels or photo etch. You do get photo etch in this, but not the instrument display panel, but looking pretty good. Our last sort of grey plastic sprue here has a few of our bits and bobs, right, which we've got all sorts of things like all our cockpit area, all the usual bits that you'd see normally on a Spitfire. Looking, hopefully as you can see, rather nicely detailed, right, and a bit of our seat as well. As you can see, quite a nice bit of crisp detail going on there. We do have a pilot that you can put in if you like. Again, rather nice. We have his head, you can see face, nose, mouth, good detail on there also. The bottom of the cockpit tub just here, as well as wheel hubcaps as well, with detail on there. So actually quite a lot of nice little bits of detail going on with this. We do have the canopy section, which also looks really nice and shiny. A bit hard to see on camera, but you know, trust me, they really do look nice and shiny and just what we'd expect from Tamiya. We then have some decals or decals just here. I'll just quickly get these out. Atypical style type of Tamiya decals, probably use Mr. Mark Softer and Setter, but hopefully, as you can see, you know, really good. I mean, it's kind of got like a matte satiny finish, which is no big deal. They feel just like any Tamiya decals. All the colours, it's all nicely in registry, not out of line. The small print, I mean, you can read some of it. We have our dials just here as well, which would look really nice, nicely put on that instrument display panel that is on there. So decals do look rather cool. You do have these little rubber things that just so as your propeller can sort of go on and off, which is always nice to see because you don't get that from a lot of manufacturers. We then have canopy masks, which is always a good one, makes people's lives a little bit easier. We do actually have, it's not a gimmick, a nice amount of photo etch to go with it, where we have lots of different seat belts, and interestingly, you don't see this a lot, but you've got seat belts for if you want the pilot in or out. So two different styles of seat belts, so as they fit if the pilot's in there, or they're a different shape if he's not in there, which is rather cool, rather interesting, and a few other little bits on there. This is also interesting, something you don't normally see, like stickers as well. I think that's to kind of do a little bit of a raised detail here and there. I'll show you in the instructions a little bit more on them in a sec. So what we get inside here instruction wise, well, yes, we get some tips and stuff. You do get like a nice little booklet here which kind of describes about the aircraft itself. We do get this nicely coloured, glossy, good quality paper showing us our aircraft itself and the colour schemes and where the decals go and all that goody stuff. And we've got 3 markings with this, right? So as you can see, a little bit to choose from just there. Now the instructions, let's get started nicely. It's in booklet format. Almost like they've kind of maybe got rid of that whole folding out business, which is rather good to see. So you'll first look at it and it does look very ram-packed and very sort of chaotic and a lot going on. But if you kind of study them, they do guide you through quite nicely in a lot of ways to help guide you through. Now, as I mentioned here, this is potentially where I think they might be over-engineering things. I mean, we have this piece for the cockpit section, right? So if I just quickly get that sprue out for you guys, and I'll show you what I mean by it being over-engineered. I mean, the whole point of this is choosing whether you want the canopy open or closed, and you'll pick either piece, which is either one of these, right, to open or close the canopy. And it's just like, it just seems to be well too over-engineered to the point where what you got to remember is this has got a glue onto our fuselage section, and it's got a glue so perfectly that you don't know that there's a join line there, because if you do notice a join line there, you've obviously got to go off and do filling, sanding, scribing and all that kind of stuff. So for the sake of like open or close a canopy, it just seems way over engineered. But hopefully the fit is really nice. I mean, again, it could, you know, it is Tamiya, the fit could be absolutely perfect and it might not be such a big deal. But yes, typical sort of bringing your cockpit together. It does show you where the photo etch goes. It's got little descriptions as well and all sorts of guides. It shows you the FX numbers as well, Tamiya's paint range FX, to what colours everything needs to be. It even shows you if you need to put decals anywhere, you know, where they go and everything. So it does explain, it does guide you through, as chaotic and sort of overloaded with information this may look. It does look quite good. It also shows you again what seat belts to put in if you're going to have your pilot in there, or what seat belts to put in if you're not going to have your pilot in there as well. And then yes, it is bringing the two halves together. Again, we have just on the engine cowl here, this nose bit here, it's like we're putting another piece in there. Again, if it doesn't fit perfectly, you're probably gonna have to do filling, the sanding, scribing. It's like, again, that just seems like a little bit over-engineered. But as much as I say it's a little bit over-engineered in some places, it does have some promises as well. If I sort of show you, I mean, actually the whole canopy open close thing, I don't know if that's going to make it seem better for an open and closed canopy. Not really seen that before on the other Spitfire, so I don't know how much of a benefit that's going to be. Bringing your wing sections together, looks like we can have things like yeah, ailerons and stuff moving, well, not moving, but in whatever position you want, which is again rather cool. Moving along, putting all your sort of bits and bobs, last bit of engine cowl. Again, on about the landing gear, right? The landing gear being one piece is interesting in, again, the sense that it's going to be nice and parallel, and it's all going to line up, which is rather cool. But you do, if I just get at the wing section, it does mean, right, that as you can see here, this is blanked out, so there is somewhere in there's like these pieces that once you put the landing gear in there, you put these panels on there, which again, it creates more of that, well, once you put the panels on, if it's not a great fit, it's going to look like there's a join there, and you might want to fill sand and scribe it. And really, if you sort of think about it, you normally want to put your landing gear on at the end once you've all the spraying's done and everything, so you'd be putting your landing gear in at the end, and then these panels you're going to then put on top, but you've done all your spraying. So if it's not a perfect fit, you've got to spray these panels separately at the end, and then you've got to put them on. And again, it could just be a bit over engineered. Again, I haven't built this. I mean, it might actually be absolutely beautiful. I'm just kind of going off a bit of experience and sort of guessing here, but it does seem that bit over engineered. As you see, shows you where all the canopy masks go. Right, should get you through there. And then again, you've got these stickers, which is quite cool in a sense, where you got these stickers here. I mean, I'm not sure about them, but these stickers that go onto the canopy might be quite interesting. Never done them before, in all honesty. Quite a lot of firsts with this kit, quite interesting. I might just have to build one of these just to kind of go over all this kind of extra engineering and going about things differently with building models. Quite interesting. Now here's the thing, yes, it is £36, it is Tamiya, it should hopefully go together well. I mean, there's quite a few new things in there, as I say, but does look good, and you know, it does look like a well recommended kit. The only thing is about this kit is there's a lot of competition out there, and this is one of them. This is potentially the problem, that if you want to buy this Tamiya Spitfire, is this. It is the Edard's Spitfire, right? Edard does a fantastic Spitfire, cannot grumble at this. You know, you get the photo etch in there as well. And the thing is, it's about £6 cheaper as well here in the UK. I know in the US, Edard is quite expensive, and I can just imagine if you're from Japan, like Tamiya's probably way cheaper than Edard. So it kind of depends where you are in the world, at what prices and stuff. But this is a great contender. So it's one of them. It depends where you are in the world, and depends what the price is. As it sort of stands right here, right now, I mean, I'd recommend Edard over this one pretty much any day, but then I haven't built this one, and considering all that new sort of re-engineering of the way things go together, I mean, it could be absolutely fantastic, or it could be an absolute flop. So you know what, I'm going to have to build one of them, one of these in the future, just to sort of see what it's about. But does look good either way. So hopefully that's helped. I'll probably give you more questions than answers at this stage, but you know, hopefully we'll sort that out in the future. But as always, until next time, my name is Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.